part of the arrangement is for us to establish a very comprehensive composite charging facilities for all our e-facilities.
President Tinubu approves Northeast Development Commission for deployment of electric vehicles in catchment states.
The intentional intention of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to make sure that Nigeria is being driven by gas.
Federal government commits billions of naira to qualified gas companies as promoters of government gas initiatives. NCDC Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations dig into Lassa fever epidemiology mutation, a sick licensed vaccine for the country. Hello and welcome to the news at 11 on Nta News24. We are live in Abuja. I'm Olajide Bello. Many thanks for joining us. 16 people have been confirmed dead and scores declared missing following a boat mishap for the court late Tuesday night in Gbajibo community in Mokwa local government area of Niger State. A statement by the head of Niger State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA, Abdullahi Baba Ara, who confirmed the waterway tragedy, indicates that the boat was reportedly conveying more than 300 passengers who are mostly women and children. The victims are said to be traveling to celebrate Maulud Nabi, an Islamic festival in the neighboring community, before the tragedy struck. The statement further added that local divers and other volunteers have so far rescued about 150 passengers. President Bola Tinubu has granted an express approval to the Northeast Development Commission (NEDC) for the deployment of electric vehicles in catchment states. NEDC, along with its Chinese partners, presented the samples of the electronic vehicles for exhibition at the State House. President Tinubu, alongside Vice President Kashim Shettima, inspected the vehicles, including a 40-passenger capacity bus, saloon cars, and 8-passenger capacity tricycles. The President expressed satisfaction, following which he approved that the Commission should go ahead and deploy the e-mobility in the northeast region of the country. The Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Mohammed Al-Khali, who briefed State House respondents on this development, explained that the Commission would, in the next 2 years, produce over 10,000 e-vehicles under this initiative. He said the Commission has also obtained presidential approval to build 5 and 10 kVA modular solar power units in each of the 6 states within its jurisdiction as alternative sources of recharging vehicles.
If we talk about gas-powered CNG, the gas has to come from somewhere because we don't have gas in the nose for now. But e-vehicle, what you need is the power to power all e-facilities. As part of the arrangement is for us to establish a very comprehensive composite charging facilities for all our e-facilities, e-vehicles or e-tricycle. This is already a part of the work plan which we are trying to do.
State House correspondent Musbah Damahab reports that the Chief Executive Officer added that the state governors within the sub-region have equally agreed to provide suitable locations for the construction of the modular solar unit. The federal government is committing 122 billion naira to 6 qualified gas companies as promoters of government gas initiatives through the Midstream and Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Gas Ekpo says the initiative is to fuel growth in gas processing, transportation, storage and distribution infrastructure. Lydia Sampson reports.
It is the first signing ceremony of the gas infrastructure promoters on the Midstream Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund agreement. Key players believe this collaboration is essential towards achieving Nigeria's target of transitioning from a crude oil-dependent economy to one driven by natural gas and its derivatives.
The intentional intention of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to make sure that Nigeria is being driven by gas. And of course, like one of you have said, it is a cleaner way. We need to serve our environment, and that is how and why we need to go this route.
It is expected that the partnership between the public and private sectors, now with the goal of transforming the midstream gas value chain, will reflect President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's efforts and enthusiasm to improve and foster business relationships between the public and private sectors.
Please, we want to urge you to be diligent, to be committed, to show diligence in the execution of these projects.
Mr. President has a vision, and those of us in the Senate are ready to give the government all the support under the leadership of the Senate President, and we've been doing our best.
We will not only deliver, we will deliver safely, we will deliver on time, and we will deliver to ensure that we continue to bring gas to the last mile.
The 6 promoters were carefully chosen in compliance with the Midstream Downstream Gas Infrastructure Fund Investment Policy Statement on the Petroleum Industry Act 2021. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, Nta News.
The cost of transportation in Kogi State is set to decrease with the launch of the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas CNG initiative. Through this program, commercial drivers will have their vehicles converted to run on gas at no cost. Jonathan Marjali reports via the launch in Lokoja, the federal government also provided the state with 10 CNG-powered vehicles.
Kogi State joins the growing number of states benefiting from the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, aimed at reducing transportation costs and providing a more affordable and efficient transport system following the removal of the fuel subsidy. As part of the initiative, 10 CNG buses were donated to the state.
I commissioned this to the glory of God and to the benefit of mankind.
It's here to ensure that prices of goods and services are reduced by 40%.
Most of the passenger cannot travel again because of high cost of transportation. But with the ideas we are getting from the CNG, I think it will reduce the expensive and it will encourage passengers to travel.
The launch of the CNG conversion initiative, with a provision for all commercial vehicles to be eligible for free conversion, signals the long-awaited implementation of the program in the state. The state governor, represented by his deputy at the launch of the program, stated that the initiative will positively impact the cost of living in the state.
Profound gratitude to Mr. President for this people-oriented initiative and for making Kogi State one of the beneficiaries.
The opportunities to improve lives, the opportunities to benefit from cleaner, cheaper, safer, and more reliable.
The Presidential CNG initiative also supports Nigeria's push for a cleaner energy, encouraging citizens to drive cleaner, drive smarter, and drive better. In Lokoja, Jonathan Omajali, Nta News.
President Bola Tinubu is deeply aware of the hardships facing Nigerians, particularly the rising cost. He made it clear that while we must confront these challenges head-on, we must also seek out innovative solutions that will ease the burden on the common man and ensure long-term sustainability. These were the views of the Executive Secretary of the Nigeria Police Trust Fund, Mohammed Saidu, at the signing of Memorandum of Understanding with the Presidential Initiative on CNG for the conversion of Nigeria Police Force vehicles.
With PCNG support, we will train and equip a select group of police mechanics with the technical expertise required to convert police vehicles from traditional fuels to CNG. This training will enable them to handle conversions, maintain CNG vehicles, and provide ongoing support.
We believe that the use of CNG will not only significantly reduce operational costs, enhance energy security, and contribute to a cleaner environment, but to also align with our national goal for energy diversification. Beyond the technology itself, this partnership is about empowerment. By building technical capacity within the Nigerian police force, we will ensure that officers are equipped with the right skills necessary to maintain and operate these systems efficiently and effectively.
Trust Fund says it is committed to seeing this initiative through to its full potential, ensuring that it becomes a lasting solution that benefits the Nigerian police force. The Defense Headquarters says Abbas Haruna of the Nigerian Navy has been dismissed after investigation by the court-martial that found him guilty of misconduct during a military parade. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the Director of Defense Media, Major General Tukur Gusau, highlights that the court-martial was held between 20th December 2022 and 7th February 2023, where the ex-seaman Abbas Haruna pleaded guilty to all the charges.
Addressing the troops, the ex-rating continuously interrupted the address, which warranted the commanding officer to direct him to report to the guard room. However, the rating refused to obey the order. Thus, the commanding officer directed his arrest, but the ex-rating resisted and expanded 16 rounds of ammunition belonging to the Nigerian Navy, with the aim of preventing other soldiers from taking him into custody. The trial of ex-seaman Abbas Haruna by the General Court Martial was based on the authority that as serving personnel, he was subject to military laws.
Brigadier General Gusau also notes that, contrary to some media reports, the ex-seaman was tried and accorded a fair hearing, stressing that the Abbas Haruna did not challenge the outcome of the court-martial. More associations, foundations and non-governmental organizations have continued to show their sympathy and support to the people and government of Borno State over the recent devastating flood that ravaged Maiduguri city and its environs. Mohammed Goni reports.
Alumni Association of the National Institute are the latest among such visitors who are in the state to commiserate with one of them and the governor of the state, Professor Babagana Umar Azulum. In the entourage to Maiduguri were former Inspector General of Police Muhammad Abubakar, among other notable alumni who came to show sympathy and offer support to those affected. President of the association, Emmanuel Obi Okafo, said their visit was mainly to commiserate with the government and people and offer their support to the victims.
We want to tell the people that they should be resilient. We pray that Almighty Allah will continue to bring things back to what it is. They should give all the government all the support, and we just pray that the flooding will not take place again.
In his response, Governor Babagana Umar Azulum appreciated the association and assured the proper use of the token given.
For providing leadership in our own association, most especially about the condemnation.
Members of the Alumni Association of the National Institute were also at the show of Borno's Palace to commiserate with the royal father Abubakar ibn Umar Garba El-Kanemi over the flood disaster. Meanwhile, officials to steer the association in Yobe and Borno State were inaugurated with a call on them to work hard for the association to realize the objectives. It was formed in Maiduguri. Mohammed Goni, Nta News.
This is the news at 11 on Nta News 24. Let's take a break now. More reports and we'll return.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the breathtaking scenery of the plateau, in noonday and nighttime, we set out to bring to you captivating stories that evoke your emotions. For fascinating documentaries and reports on day-to-day issues with expert analysis, Tune in to NTA News24, DSTV channel 419, GoTV channel 26, StarTimes channel 101 and 433, and Free TV channel 703.
Thanks for being there. The Tinubu Media Support Group has advocated a huge investment in the agricultural sector with massive participation in areas of comparative advantage to boost economic fortunes and create employment opportunities. The media group said Nigeria's population should be seen as a catalyst to drive the potential in the sector and appealed for the declaration of a state of emergency to attract more private sector players in the industry. Chairman of the group commended the strides made by Nigerians across the world and congratulated Nigerians for remaining an indivisible entity despite challenges of nationhood.
We remain the giant of Africa and pride of the black race. Nigerians are doing wonderful things across the world. From Sapele to Sokoto, from Benin to Benue, from Nok to Nsukka, from Badagry to Bama, from Okene to Ogoja, there's not a single square inch of our country God in his divine providence has not made it possible to feed his children from. Wrestle it to the ground and forthwith proceed to devote a special vote to agriculture, amounting to no less than 5 trillion naira per annum.
The group later inaugurated the new executive of Tinubu Media Support Group and tasked them to continue to project the principle upon which the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu's presidency stand. Achieving economic transformation, poverty reduction and self-sufficiency in food production require acquisition of skills and advanced agricultural practices. This prompted the Senate to pass a second reading a bill seeking the establishment of Federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies in Iragbiji, Osun State, sponsored by the Senate leader, Kweyemi Bamidele. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Agriculture, with its allied sectors, is unquestionably the largest livelihood provider, more also in the rural areas, and can contribute significantly to the GDP.
Senator Kweyemi Bamidele, while leading debate on the bill seeking the establishment of Federal University of Agriculture and Tropical Studies, also said the establishment of more agriculture-related institutions will help the back-to-land policy of the federal government.
We are saying we have to diversify this economy, and the only way to go is agriculture, agriculture, agriculture.
We must produce manpower that will engage in modern agricultural production.
One of the agitation now is that people should go back to the land. I don't want to go back to the hoes and cutlass type of farming. We want to modernize.
We should have this type of university, specialized university in all of our states in the country.
Senate has also passed for second reading the bill to establish the Federal University of Information and Communication Technology, Ikare Akoko, sponsored by Senator Olajide Ipinshagba.
It is our hope that the Federal University of Information and Communication Technology, Ikare Akoko, will serve as a premium incubation hub for information and technology scientists in sub-Saharan Africa. Presently, the school has reasonable infrastructure that can support the takeoff of the university.
Meanwhile, Senate has resolved to invite the Minister of Works over the abandoned New Ogbomoso-Oyo Road following a motion from Senator Abdul Fattah Buhari.
That the federal government embark on the reconstruction of the road by contracting different portions of the road to different contractors for quick completion. However, other portions had been completed and Ogbomoso-Oyo Road is yet to be completed, as the contractor handling the portion has left the site, RCC.
Given as a contract as far back as 2005, this road has become an eyesore to the ancient city of Ogbomoso.
Those of us that have been planning that road for a very long time
not just of recent. We know the importance of the artery that it has been to the south-north connection.
I want to join you to urge the relevant agencies of government to rise to the occasion in order to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians, because it's not only the people of your state that pass through that road.
6 bills passed first reading, among them bill to establish Food Vendors Regulation Council of Nigeria, forwarded from the House of Representatives for concurrence. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, Nta News.
Issues relating to equality and status of the presiding officers of Nigeria's bicameral legislatures surfaced on the floor of the Grand Chamber at Wednesday's plenary. The House of Representatives unanimously passed the resolution seeking amendment of the National Honors Act of 1964 to ensure parity and conferment of the National Honor of Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger, GCON, on the Senate President and the Speaker, House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Nta News24 has details.
A motion of urgent public importance by Deputy House Spokesman Philip Agbese on behalf of the 360 members frowned at perceived discrimination in the conferment of national honors on the Senate President and the Speaker. Lawmakers were unanimous that the two chambers of the National Assembly and their presiding officers have equal status, irrespective of who occupies the offices.
Appropriately recognize the Speaker of the House of Representatives as co-head of the National Assembly and accordingly confer the national honor of GCON upon the Speaker, ensuring parity in recognition of the President of the Senate. This should be accomplished before the formal declaration by Mr. President.
The Speaker is the fourth in protocol. The CGN comes after. Today, the CGN is given the award, the honor of GCON. I think there is some mismatch, some mix-up.
The issues here, they have to do with history, with tradition, with correcting past injustices and miscarriage of recognition and constitutional order.
The Constitution did not mention that a chamber is higher than any other chamber.
Those in support of this motion as amended should say aye. Those against should say nay. That is it. This motion is referred to an ad hoc committee to be chaired by the House Leader, and membership of the committee will include all the 6 zonal caucus leaders.
In other resolutions, the House urged the President to look into what it calls over-representation of 2 states in the governing board of the Northwest Development Commission, awaiting Senate confirmation.
The Act stipulates that each state in the Northwest must have 1 representative on the governing board. However, Jigawa and Kano each have 2 representatives. To call on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to review and rectify appointment to the NWDC governing board.
The House also received the report of its Committee on Public Assets, which investigated the sale of 2 Bell helicopters by the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria. From the National Assembly, Nta News24, Nta News.
And now to health matters. A new study known as Enable 1.5 is bringing insight into the ever-evolving world of Lassa fever. Driven by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention and CDC, and backed by the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovation, this research digs into the mutation and epidemiology of the deadly virus, aiming to edge closer to a licensed vaccine for the country. Oluseyi Diagbo has more details.
Lassa fever, an acute viral hemorrhagic illness caused by Lassa virus, is confirmed to be endemic in 8 West African countries, Nigeria inclusive.
Enable 1.5 project open.
Developing a safe and effective Lassa vaccine across 15 West African countries to save more than 3,000 lives over 10 years and avert up to $128 million in societal cost is the goal of these experts.
We're riding on the results of 1.0, and
also the gaps that we identified in 1.0. We have children under 2 that will be involved, and then we have the co-infection with malaria that will also be checked, and then we also have the sensorineural hearing loss.
This has given us the real picture of which strain that is circulating in Nigeria, the strain that is circulating in Sierra Leone, and also in Liberia. Though these strains are even related, and this has enabled us to see that there is that possibility of having a candidate vaccine that will be potent enough to mop all these various strains when that vaccine is being produced.
The Coalition for Endemic Preparedness Innovation, CEPI, one of the Lassa FIFA research leading funders, had assembled 23,000 participants across West Africa since 2019, and this latest study tagged Enable 1.5 is to deepen understanding of Lassa FIFA transmission, epidemiology, as well as impacts in Nigeria and across West Africa.
So CEPI, as part of its mission, decided to invest in this neglected disease, really to support the people in West Africa to fight this threat. To date, we have invested more than $250 million in the development of a Lassa fever vaccine through all the different activities.
But on top of that, build the necessary capacities within the countries and within our partners in Nigeria and other countries in order to be able to really prepare for the great work that lies ahead, which is to have clinical trials at a large scale that allow us to identify just how effective a new vaccine will be, with the ambition of having that vaccine ready by 2030 here in Nigeria.
Partners of the cause, including Nigeria Health Watch, share optimism of expertise and smooth runs of the project. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, Nta News.
And that concludes the news at 11 on Nta News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Olajide Bello.